Today I fucked up by going underwear shopping with my husband. So my husband's underwear was getting kinda ragged, so we went to the mall to get him some new boxers. He decided to look at some different brands, so we were perusing the boxer selection to see what he wanted to get. Now my husband likes boxers that have the flap that lets you stick your dick out to piss without having to pull down the waistband. I don't know if there's an official term for it, but I call it the dick hole. While looking at the packages, my husband comments that because the underwear models are wearing black boxers, it makes it difficult to tell if the dick hole exists. He passed the packages to me to see if I could discern if said dick hole is present. After a few minutes of carefully scrutinizing the crotches of a bunch of underwear models, I turned to my husband and go, yeah, I don't think these packages have the dick hole. Except, it wasn't my husband standing there. It was some old lady, probably a grandma buying underwear for a teenage grandson, with a now horrified look on her face. Which I presume was because she's been watching me stare at crotches and then commenting to her about their dick holes. I ran away and found my husband not too far away. After telling him what just happened, he laughed at me. I recommended he stick with his current brand. Too long didn't read, looking for dick holes. Edit, till that any crotch hole is called a fly. I always thought fly referred to the zipper on pants and not the hole itself. Also, thanks for the gold and silver. Glad to make some of your days a little better. Oh, and for some additional clarification, he wears boxer briefs, but I've always called them boxers. I didn't realize how important of a distinction that is. Now the grandma is worried if the kid needs boxers with or without dick holes. GJ. My family calls it a Zoom pocket because my brother used to stash Hot Wheels in there. Finding said dick holes in boxers is important, which makes you a great wife for helping him. I'm also sure grandma has seen a few dick holes in her day too. At least one. Best TDLR ever. Looking for dick holes, okay? My husband insists those are not for putting your dick out to pee, but just for more room in the underwear. I don't believe him, and this thread is my proof of rightness. I'm still a firm believer that the dick hole is merely designed to accommodate for different shapes and sizes. It doesn't make sense to snag it through the zigzagging fabric when you can just send it over the top, which is something you can still do leaving a belt on. Edit, for clarification, you can go over the underwear while still going through the fly of your pants. For this to work, your underwear waistband must sit below your belt. Today I fucked up by missing a wedding by masturbating. NSFW I guess. Obligatory. This happened a few years back. Imagine the most romantic wedding, a boat a day. I fucked up a warm summer day, a large and festive white tent, a string quartet, a befriended priests holding the ceremony for the couple from different countries, with guests from all over the world who use the wedding as a nice getaway to a northernish country. Then imagine my dumbass. Half an hour before my family and I had to get off to drive to the ceremony, I decided to be a good boy and shower, so my hair looks nice and soft. After shampooing and rinsing, I decided that a little solo fun couldn't hurt. God, I was wrong. But, you know, with water being a terrible lubricant and me not having any imagery but the one in my head available, things took some time and departure was approaching. I still needed to get dressed, and as I didn't want to leave for the wedding with blue balls, I started manhandling my meat a little more furiously. Much more furiously. Finally, arrival came and I finished. And by God, I was finished. Just as I was feeling the sweet release of orgasming, another feeling hit me. And it hit me good. I felt like my head was exploding, the worst headache I've experienced to this day. Like a vein in my brain had exploded. Without being able to see really, I managed to turn the shower off, free myself and put on some underwear. The pain only got worse, so I stumbled outside to lay down on a lounger in the garden of the house we were staying at. My mother came outside, concerned, asking what was wrong while implying we had to leave. Headache, I moaned with my eyes closed. She seemed to understand it was bad, so she suggested we wait 5 more minutes before leaving to see if I was better. 5 minutes, which felt like an eternity, passed and of course I wasn't better. My family in the end decided to leave without me, so I missed the wedding and stayed where I was. Did manage to make it to the reception later, as the pain had left after sleeping for a bit. Too long didn't read, missed a wedding because masturbating too hard gave me the worst headache of my life. I read it as missed my wedding by masturbating and was confused as to why your family was so cool with you sticking back. Maybe they didn't like my fiance after all. I've had this exact same issue. It was about 5 years ago, and each and every time I came from either sex or jerking off, I would immediately be slammed by the sharpest headache I've ever experienced. It would last around half an hour. I finally decided to induce the headache, then immediately walk into the local ER while the symptom was active. After a few hours of tests, they were at a loss but fairly certain it wasn't an aneurysm at least. A few days later it stopped happening and hasn't since. This has happened to me too. It only ever happens when I orgasm in the shower, like Op did. I wonder if it has something to do with temperature or humidity? I know migraines can have all sorts of environmental triggers, and people often experience a massive drop in pulse rate and blood pressure after orgasm. Google sex headache more common than you think. Happened to me once when I was 13. I thought I was being punished because I had made a pact with Jesus that I would only fap once a week and I couldn't stick to it. Actually, it might be an exertion headache. I got one during an intense gym session that felt like what you described. After that I couldn't do any high intensity activity, working out, sex, for like 2 weeks without triggering it. I saw a neurologist and he just prescribed salt pills. That was 4 years ago, haven't had another since. Y'all motherfuckers need to drink more water. Today I fucked up by enjoying a new sex toy so much that I strained my forearm. This happened today. I'm working from home and genuinely have a lot to do today. However, I also woke up knowing I needed to take care of a little business or I wouldn't be able to concentrate. I should add I'm a woman who just turned 40, and undergoing that burst of a sexual awakening, and I have to say, it's pretty awesome. I've started to experiment with sex toys and have finally experienced some self-inflicted mind-blowing orgasms. I recently ordered the After reading rave reviews. It's a clitoral stimulator which offers mild suction, and since I didn't have my first conference call until later in the morning, I thought I would try it out before my workday began. Well, holy shit. It's every bit as good as the reviews implied. Better actually. There was a bit of a learning curve, but I probably came 5 to 6 times, each more intense than the last, and held that little sucker on my clit with more and more pressure. When I finally decided I had enough, I turned it off and realized that my right hand was completely frozen in place. I had held onto the so tightly that my fingers and forearm were seized up. It took some stretching to get my fingers to straighten up, and my forearm is still aching. I can still type, obviously, but every tap of the keyboard makes my forearm ache and reminds me that I did this to myself. Too long didn't read. 40-year-old chick ignores no nut November, held a sex toy so tightly that I can't flex my forearm. Worth it. Edit, clitoral stimulator, not clitoral simulator. I'm not sure what a clitoral simulator does, but I'm pretty sure it's not what I'm looking for. Edit again. 6 hours after my initial self-inflicted injury, my right forearm is still fucked up. I tried to put a frozen lasagna in the oven and my arm just about buckled. With great power comes great responsibility. Edit another time. I can't believe I have to say this, but no, I'm not interested in cugging or Snapchatting or Skyping or any other audio-visual communication mechanism with anyone while I play with myself. My bathing suit parts have never been on camera, nor should they be. That bums me out. There has been some criticism from the self-righteous crowd who think that it's disgusting for a grown woman to seek attention by talking about female masturbation on the internet. You know what? You suck. Some days it feels like the vast majority of the internet is designed for the male gaze and jack shack fodder. Many women, myself included, were ashamed and embarrassed at the thought of admitting sexual needs or receiving sexual pleasure, or giving ourselves sexual pleasure. It took therapy, antidepressants and medicinal cannabis for me to be comfortable enough to explore my own body, and if I won't embarrass myself and post a stupid funny story about it on Today I Fucked Up, then why not just roll your eyes at me and move on? Why send me such vile messages? Why the hell does it bother you that my 40-year-old clit is getting some attention? Fuck you. Edit. Okay, fuck, I just thought of something. A whole bunch of my male co-workers are on Reddit. If this gets many more upvotes they could read it. Better not let on if my arm still hurts tomorrow. Edit, 2 people have given me gold, so thank you. That has never happened to me before in my entire Reddit history, so I'm not really sure what to do now. You guys rock. Edit it again, 2 platinum, 4 gold and a bunch of silver. I'm so touched. Literally touched. Since this whole post was about how I FD up by touching myself. Edit. Fine. Once and for all I will include one video of what it was like after I used my new bestie for longer than the manufacturer's recommended time limit. Next morning. Edit. Holy moly guys, I've never in my life gotten this much attention. I'm really shy and unassuming in real life. I've been at work for a few hours and so far none of my male co-workers have even glanced my way. I know they don't see me in that way, which is a good thing. And my arm is mostly okay, but driving hurt. Edit, OMG I'm not your co-worker. I've gotten messages asking if I'm Angela, Layla, Erica and others. I'm none of those ladies. Or maybe I am. Why does it matter? Oh, and to answer another burning question, Mr. Jones by Counting Crows was playing on YouTube when I made this account and I thought these days Mr. Jones would just ghost after striking up conversation with a black-haired flamenco dancer. Or maybe Mr. Jones is a real person and he knows what he did. When you get masturbatory carpal tunnel. You know, I think I have a carpal tunnel wrist support splint lying around somewhere. Maybe I'll wear it when I relax before bed tonight. Lol. That's right, I'm going to use it again tonight. 'Cause I'm 40 and I'm allowed. Husband here. Lol, you're a good husband. My model is the Liberty but I'm sure any of them are just fine. I bought this for my girlfriend for her birthday. It says to not use it for more than 15 minutes at a time. First use, she lay in bed for an hour and came like 6 times as I watched in awe. Oh, I missed the warning about no more than 15 minutes. I definitely used it longer than that. I've got a lot to learn. Smile. This reads like an ad for the womanizer. I thought about not including the name and I'll take it out if I'm breaking any rules. But I'm just a suburban working mom who finally learned how to orgasm. Finally learned how to make myself orgasm. My husband has been quite satisfactory. Didn't mean to make it sound like he wasn't doing his job. 122? Is that what you paid for it? Holy fuck, it better be worth every penny. BC I'm ordering one. Lol. I got mine on sale so it was definitely under 100 but not by much. I bet there will be some sweet Black Friday deals coming up if your lady parts can wait a few weeks.